What's up everyone? Last night we saw Zay become the first boot of Big Brother 27, but the game goes on and the new head of household has been crowned. Plus, brand new powers have been unleashed on the game and they can and will change the game forever. We have got so much to talk about, so welcome to your live feed update. Right, before we get started, if you are new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I'm here every single day giving you a live feed update with all the rundown of what's happened in the Big Brother house. I know a lot of people don't have time to watch live feeds, and there's a lot that you can miss out on, so I try and compact all the important stuff into 15-20 minutes to give you the perfect slice of action from the Big Brother house. So if you don't want to miss that, and make sure that you want to know what's everything that's going on in that house, hit the subscribe button, and also hit the like button. That one really helps me out as a YouTube content creator, just on a smaller scale, pushes my videos out into the algorithm more. So there's two things there: subscribe, like, and let's get to the update. Question of the day now, folks. Let me know in the comment section below. Are you happy that Zay got evicted? Would have you preferred Amy or Kelly, or are you happy with Zay being the first boot of Big Brother 27? Let me know in the comment section below. The first boot of Big Brother 27 has officially occurred, and it is in the form of Zay. Commiserations, Zay. He's been sent out the door, and I want to clarify something for a second, because I know a lot of people are hyping up Rachel for Zay's boot, and while, yeah, Rachel had a part in it because she's kind of... She helped sink him, you know, with the arguments and putting him in his place a bit. I want to give full credit to Morgan. I think Morgan did all this. She kicked into gear earlier this week, and I talked about this on my live feed updates, and she went to work on making sure that one of the big buff guys would head out the door this week, as opposed to Amy or Kelly. So, well done to Morgan. I am more than impressed with her, and her game prowess is showing more and more every single day. If you tuned into my live feed update the other day, I went out on a limb, and I actually said, I see a lot of... and. You know, hold on to your seat right now, because I don't want anyone to fall out of it. But I kind of see a little bit of Vanessa Russo in him. Vanessa Russo, for those of you who don't know, she was the biggest strategist on season 17. And people consider her one of the most robbed players of the game ever. They consider her as one of the greatest strategists, myself included. And I just see she's got this something in her where... Because I don't think Morgan knew Big Brother before, but I feel like that's actually helping her game, because she's not afraid to play. She's came into the game and she doesn't know all the new style of play where, you know, everyone's afraid to step on each other's toes and say the wrong things to each other. She actively is here and she's like, okay, we're in a game, so let's game. Right? And I wish every single person was like that. So well done, Morgan. To me, she spearheaded that and put herself at the top of the house there after week one. And I would say player of the week goes to Morgan. Now, the feeds were down for a very long time last night, but when they eventually came back, we learned who the new head of household was. And not only that, but it seems like some powers have been thrown into the game. As far as I can count, I believe 3 people have now gained some powers. I'm going to run by what all those were. They actually seem more important than the head of household itself at this point, because these powers could completely derail a head of household. Especially one of them is completely like, when I get to it. But first of all, our new head of household, a massive congratulations to Jimmy. If you hadn't seen on the graphic on the side there already, Jimmy is the new HOH, so a massive congratulations to him for winning. He did an amazing job there, and I think we're in for another week of chaos. As an updater, when the feeds came back and I saw that he won HOH, I thought, boy oh boy, I've got my work out for me for the week. That was the initial reaction, and honestly, I couldn't be happier. But both as a creator and a feedster, it's fun when somebody chaotic is head of household. It would have been just as fun if Keanu won or if Kelly won. Somebody who's, you know, hasn't been going on the beaten path. That would have injected fun into the week. So I'm glad it happened. But it's kind of not overshadowed by, but I feel like all everyone's talking about is the powers. So in terms of who Jimmy's going to target, I would say Keanu is almost certainty. I mean, we can put two and two together there. It doesn't really take a genius. He's not a fan of Keanu, and I don't think Keanu's a fan of Jimmy, so it makes sense for him to put Keanu up on the block. And as for the other nominee, I'm thinking it's probably going to be Kelly. Kelly's going to be... I already see Kelly as the pawn who goes up every single week but doesn't go out. She's probably going to make jury at this rate because you can just put Kelly up every single week. But also, I think there's potential of Adrian up on the block as well. I've seen that name talked about as well. It's hard. It's going to be hard to know. We're going to get more clarity. We always get more clarity on a Friday morning because the HOH usually has meetings, brings people in, they have their one-to-ones, and then after that, it becomes a lot clearer as to who's going to end up on the block. But I'd almost bet my kidney that Keanu's going to be one of them. But these new powers, could they derail that? Yeah, they could. Let's talk about that. First up, we have Mickey. I believe Mickey's got a power, and she doesn't need it for a start. Her social game, she's queening out, she's doing all of her things, and nobody's touching her because she's amazing socially. But Mickey actually seems like she's got the most powerful power. She can overthrow a HOH reign. Secretly, at that, as well. That's even more powerful, because you don't have to get blood in your hands. She can secretly overthrow a HOH reign. And it sounds like then there'll be a slight debate after, the power comes through. It says the HOH has been taken over. And then the active HOH will get the chance to grill everybody there. And maybe, I don't know, however long it is, 3, 4, 5 minutes. And then they come to a verdict on who they think it is. If they correctly guess it, then that person will not be able to overthrow the head of household, so Mickey won't get HOH. But if they don't correctly guess it, then Mickey will go on as business as usual, and she will make the nominations and become head of household. Mickey is the perfect person to have this power because nobody's going to suspect her. Everyone loves Mickey. She's nice, she's wonderful, she's a social queen, and as a result, nobody is going to suspect her. So a massive congratulations to Mickey there, because I don't think she's going to fall through the cracks of that one, and it's very likely that she will be overthrowing somebody's HOH within the next few weeks. Whether it be Jimmy, I don't think so. There's no reason to. It's just, if she's going to be safe and her allies aren't going to be targeted this week, then she's okay if Kelly goes out the door. She's okay if Keanu goes out the door. It's no loss to her game, and to be honest, it's no loss even to anybody else's game, because nobody really seems to want to work with Keanu or Kelly. Those two are the weak links of the house because they have been so destructive and all over the place with their game. That's not to say that they're not cool people, because I really like them on a personal level, both of them. And it's just a shame on a game level that they have kind of tanked their own games. Power number 2. This is where it gets interesting. Kelly. Kelly got power number 2. I bet y'all... Oh my god, I'm going to tease it for a second. I bet y'all don't know who got power number 3. It's the funniest outcome. Just think, if Kelly got 2, who got 3? We'll get there in a second. But Kelly got the second one. And it sounds like it's a second veto. So she can actually compete in an individual comp to win the power of veto. So say if she loses the main power of veto competition, she can go, Big Brother, I want to compete in this second one, and I think it's a solo comp. And if she think Caitlin Herman in 20, where she was trying to put together the 4-piece puzzle. Yeah, that. Moving on. Think that. And if Kelly does that, she will win the power of veto, and she can pull herself off the block, and that will mean that 2 POVs will be in play that week. Woohoo, exciting. Now, the third power. I asked you all to guess who it was. It's probably going to come as no surprise to you right now. The third power was won by Keanu. Oh boy. Oh boy, it's so funny, isn't it, how Jimmy won HOH, and probably the 2 people he's going to nominate are going to have a power. That's going to derail Jimmy's HOH. Like I said, Jimmy's already chaos, but throw in powers on top of that, it's chaos multiplied, and I am here for it. Here is Keanu's power. So, if he is on the block, his chances to win veto are doubled. And that doesn't mean he gets to do an individual comp like Kelly does, I think he will just get this double advantage in the veto comp that will give him a head start or an advantage. Or, when you have to stack something, he'll probably have a bunch stacked already, or maybe his time is, if it's a time comp, it'll get slashed down the middle, meaning that everybody's going to have to really pick it up if they want to beat Keanu. So all of these powers are great, especially for the people who landed them. Mickey is in a perfect social position where nobody's going to detect if she overthrows the head of household. Kelly definitely needs a lifeline based on her game so far, and the exact same goes for Keanu. Destructive gameplay can send you out the house in no time, and the fact that these two have got these lifelines, honestly, they should be on their knees thanking the BB gods right now, because otherwise they would have been definitely out the door this week. Now, while Will has had a fantastic social game so far, he voting to evict Zay last night was unnecessary. He had his finger on the pulse and should have jumped ship, but unfortunately he didn't, and now suspicions are arising around Will. I've seen at least half of the house start to discuss about how they are confused by what Will did, or they are just wondering where the hell is his head at. And it breaks my heart, because Will is like one of my favourites. And do I think it's going to tank his game? No. But if he continues little rookie mistakes like that, yes, it will. He's lucky that there's 16 people still there to dilute the attention onto other people. But bad move, Will. Bad move. He should have just... He knew where the vote was going, and he's got more connections on the side that voted out Zay than voted out Amy. And as a result, I just thought, Will, what are you doing? Like, it was a shake your head moment. And so Rachel's starting to discuss why Will did that, and because he didn't lie about it, he was straight up, so that counts for something. But as a result, people are like, I don't know about that. I know Morgan and I believe it was Morgan and Ashley, I think they brought up as well, they were just thinking Will seems a little bit sketch after that. Why has he been on our side all week saying everything's good, and then all of a sudden he votes out Amy? What was that about? And he I think he's exposed his game a little bit by doing that. And it's so gut-wrenching, because Will arguably was playing the best social game alongside Mickey, I would argue, and then he did that, and now a lot of attention's on him. I don't think he's going to end up on the block this week, but when the numbers dwindle down, and once you've got those big destructive players out like Keanu and Kelly, and Jimmy for that matter, I only not say Jimmy because he's head of household right now, but once he's gone and those two are gone, people are all of a sudden going to need a reason to put someone on the block. And if Will not voting with the house, or not voting with the people he said he was going to vote with a couple of weeks ago, is enough reason, that's the only reason, then you're going to have to go with that. So bad move from Will. I really hope he can pull it back, but people are starting to look at him now and think that he's a little bit sketch. While I discussed Kelly and Keanu ending up on the block most likely, we have got to remember that 3 nominees have to take place this week, so finding a third is going to be a little bit trickier for Jimmy, and it's less crystal clear of who it's going to be from the rest of the house guests. But if I was going out on a limb right now, I would say it's going to be Riley, I think. He also did vote on the right side of the vote, but for some weird-ass reason, he decided to lie and say that he voted to keep Zay. There's so many random votes going around, and then you got Keanu lying about his vote as well. It's just, it's the perfect storm actually for Will to pull himself out of the pit, because Will was honest about his vote. Whether it wasn't the vote that people expected is another story, but he was honest. And if Riley and Keanu are going around and it's a complete storm that they can't get out of, it's actually going to create the perfect space for Will to maybe be able to salvage some of his social game. And people will go, you know what, at least Will was honest. Can't say the same for Riley. I do think Riley could be the third nominee. Do I think he's in danger at all? Not at all. No, I can't say not at all. I'd be a dumb commentator if I said not at all. He's 90% safe, because you always have to expect the unexpected in Big Brother. But with such big targets like Keanu and Kelly on the block, it makes you kind of go, it's going to be very, very shocking if Riley is the one who goes. But with the powers in play, if Keanu wins the first veto and Kelly wins the second, That's going to mean that... Wow, okay, yeah, that's going to mean that Jimmy is going to have to nominate a total of 5 people if Kelly and Keanu win both those vetoes and they are on the block. Basically, what I'm saying is strap yourselves in for a chaotic week, folks, because I think it's going to be a good one. That is all of your live feed updates for today, folks. I thoroughly hope you all enjoyed watching and got a good feel on what's going on in the game. There was, it was very, I would say, flash flood last night is how I would describe it, because the live feeds came on so late. We were waiting for ages and ages, and then we erupted on social media when the feeds finally came back, and then Jimmy was HOH. It was like a flash trying to figure out who had all these powers. Then it was and then off to bed. So I just wanted to give everybody the down low of everything that happened, and yeah, so if you enjoyed this update, please hit subscribe and hit the like button. But I do have one super thanks that I want to shout out today. This is the part of the show where I go over the super thanks. You can send me in questions by sending in a super thanks or a PayPal. Just leave a little note with it. It really helps me out on not just on the channel level, but it helps Tom out on a personal level as well. So thank you so much, first of all, to David Cushmore. David Cushmore says, "Hi Tom, Zay got what he deserved out of the door evicted tonight. Kelly needs to stop volunteering on the block or else you'll get evicted from the house, and this will be yourself if you get evicted. Will should get HOH someday. It would be awesome to see." I agree with that. As soon as Rachel starts winning again, she is going to go very hard to beat. It's going to be very hard to beat her. If you're going to take a crack shot at beating Rachel in the game, do it sooner than later, or else she'll go all the way to the top and you can't stop it. You are so right, David Cushmore. Vince will have to wait until week 3 if he wants to win HOH again, and Amy has a chance to win HOH, that only if she wins this week. I hope BB28 has a different house guest to return. For next year, have a return house guest besides Rachel. This is her 3rd season. She did it in 12, 13, and now 27. 3 times is enough for Rachel. Yeah, I've seen a lot of sentiment about that. You're not the only one feeling that way, David Cushmore. I've definitely had comments of people who, you know, and make yourself known now, guys. If you're not a fan of Rachel returning, I think a lot of people just aren't fan of returning house guests. But to me, for me, it's special with Rachel because she was meant to be on All Stars 2, I believe. I don't know if I'm 100% correct here, but I believe she was pregnant at the time of season 22, and she really, really wanted to compete, but she wasn't able to. So I think she's been on the CBS back burner just for a minute. And there's also a couple people from season 22. I believe Josh and Casey were also contracted to be on, but then they contracted COVID-19, so then they couldn't head in, and I believe it was Memphis and Christmas, Love's Young Dream, that ended up replacing them. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like Rachel is it's been in the cards for her to play Big Brother again, but I totally understand why people don't want to see it. But yeah, some great insight there, David Cushmore, and thank you so much for your super thanks. I appreciate you ever so much. But folks, that is all of your live feed updates for today. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, do all of that wonderful stuff. But until your next live feed update, I've been your host, Tom Vasey. Good night.